Welcome to Chris B Movies. My name is Chris, and I love B movies. So I figure today, for my birthday, I would do a random review of my favorite horror film of all time. And it's a film from 1968, and you all know about it. It's from George A. Romero. And the film is titled, and I think you know what it is, Night of the Living Dead. Today, Chris B and Maya B will be reviewing this film, my favorite film of all time. It's the first time for everything. This is the first time you have a plate of pasta. This is the first time you take a walk and have the breeze just blow on your face. There is the first time you see Night of the Living Dead. Whether it be at a midnight show at your local art house theater, whether it be on VHS, or for you millennials, on Blu-ray. There is a first time that you have seen Night of the Living Dead, and you remember it fondly. You remember the scene at the cemetery with Barbara and Johnny, and Johnny's like, "They're coming to get you, Barbara, they're coming to get you." And at that point, you know something special is going to come. And then you see the cemetery ghoul, Bill Heinzman, come out. And from there, non-stop ruckus ensues. Because you know something bad is going to happen. Further on in the film, you know more people are going to die. And yet you know nothing about what is going on. Now, most of you who have seen Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead, and if you've seen those first and go to Night of the Living Dead, you kind of know. What George A. Romero brought about in Night of the Living Dead is humans are our own worst threat to survival. And that's true in today's day and age. Humans are our own worst threat to survival. We are our own worst threat to survival. And I truly believe that that's what he's brought about in these films. Night of the Living Dead, there's not another horror film like it. Being subjectively speaking, it's dark, it's claustrophobic, it's... But you feel that there is no end in sight. You feel that the only end to it is death. I was so proud to have watched this film first before any of the other Romero films. And I knew I was watching something special. And I knew it set the pace for me in my future endeavors into the horror genre. And it had the first African American protagonist in Ben. He was strong. He was a hero. We all rooted for him. And for those of you who have watched this, you know. And the end, it didn't end on a big old happy note. It ended on a very sad note. A very disturbing note. That all this that they did, they fought hard to survive, and the end came, and humans are our own worst threat to survival. They didn't know what these things were, and they didn't know that, well, most zombies that you would see in regular films would not be holding a gun and pointing a gun. But again, that's lack of knowledge. So when Ben gets shot at the end and killed, and gets burnt up, you feel something deep in your stomach. And it still holds up well to today. You remember Karen, played by Kara Shawn, the most iconic zombie of all time, the little girl zombie. The most iconic zombie of all time. You see it, you get goosebumps. Oh, this is a little kid, dead, coming back to eat flesh. So ahead of its time. Now, to be around in 1968 when this movie came about, and to see it at a late night, midnight show, I don't think there'll be anything better than that. And some of the other people in this film, like Tom and Judy. We like Tom and Judy. We loved them so much that when that car blew up, or truck rather blew up, and then the zombies were eating their flesh, you felt awful, you felt terrible. You felt something deep in the pit of your stomach. Imagine seeing it back in 1968, when there was nothing like it. I have a pure love for this film. It is the greatest horror film of all time, in my personal opinion. And you watching this may have your favorite horror film. Whatever you like, you're right. Because you have a right to love any type of horror film as your favorite horror film. Whether it be Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Child's Play, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead. You have that right. For me, you can't get much darker, more disturbing, more claustrophobic than Night of the Living Dead, baby. Oh, how we hated Harry. We couldn't wait to see Harry get killed. And when he did, you were up clapping. Even though you know what would happen. This set the pace for every other zombie film ever made. Right, Maya?
You're scary as hell. I had my head in the covers the entire time. Didn't you watch?
I saw you. I know you had your head in the covers. I know you're not much for horror movies.
Then why am I reviewing this? Why do you have me on reviewing?
Because you're cute and cuddly, and I'll get more viewers by you being here. I'm cute and cuddly as well, but she's more cuter and cuddlier. A true iconic film. And I'm so happy that this got the Criterion treatment. Thank you, the powers that be at Criterion, for respecting and loving this film the way most of us horror fans have. The first time you watch that first horror film, whether it be Bride of Frankenstein, Dracula, for me, Night of the Living Dead. One of my favorite films of all time. One of the most highly regarded horror films of all time. It set the pace for many of the great Romero films. Whether it be some of his other Dead films, or that great vampire film, Martin. We love Romero for setting the bar for every other zombie film ever made. And thank you, Romero, God rest your soul, for bringing the dead back to life. Thank you for watching, and you know this is my favorite horror film. It's going to get 5 out of 5 stars for me. 100 out of 100, 20 out of 20, whatever your rating system is. For me, and my tastes, not so much for Maya B, but for my tastes, Night of the Living Dead. The greatest horror film ever made. And that is subjective to what you like. So whatever you claim to be the greatest horror film ever made, well, you have that right. Because this is subjective, my friends. So if you're watching, if you want to write down in that little message area what your favorite horror film is, by all means do it. Make some comments about Night of the Living Dead. Wish me a happy birthday. Subscribe to my channel. Do whatever you want. Maya B and I'm going to have ourselves a little birthday cake for Daddy. Maybe reanimate some dead corpses. What else did you do on your birthday? Bye-bye. More reviews are coming soon.
Daddy, you're scaring me. You're scaring me. You're scaring me. Let's go get some of that cake, man.
I think we will. Happy birthday, Crispy. And if you haven't already checked it out, check out this pristine Night of the Living Dead on Criterion, baby. The best this film has ever looked. No scratches, no bruises, no grain. This is purity at its best, baby. Check you later.